Okay, what it do, man? So look, it looked like we got a college football 27 presentation from Eric Rayweather. And we ready to tap into it and see what we, what we finna get into. We gotta figure out a team that we gonna start this road to glory with, man. Or dynasty, whichever one. I don't know which one. Goddamn. But yeah, we gotta figure out a team that we're gonna use on road to glory and dynasty. I was thinking about just creating a team with the community and just putting together a team and we just play with that team. But I don't know. But I've been seeing little clips. I haven't really tapped into everything. I mean, I seen certain things that I'm excited about, like the catching me. I like that. I ain't gonna lie. I like that. Tush push. I like that. I ain't mad at it. I ain't gonna lie. They said that the defense is more aggressive, which I felt like was a big problem in last year, Madden and NCAA. A lot of defense was just ass. Corners, like DBs specifically, was just ass to me. But I see that they tighten up on that, so I'm excited about that. So yeah, we ready to tap into the video real quick and let's see what Eric talking about. And let's try to add some hypeness, some excitement for college football, which comes out in, we got a couple more weeks. You feel me? So, like I said, we got to put together a team. We going to road to glory. We got to pick what position we finna do. We will be dropping hella series for college football 27. We will be dropping road to glory and dynasty episodes, series, storylines, gameplay, all type of shit. We might do some online shit. I don't know. I really don't like doing online. I ain't gonna lie. Let's get into it though, man. Let's see what Eric talking about, man. Because I'm excited for it.
One of the biggest reasons.
Oh, before we get into it, make sure that y'all drop a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all are waiting for college 27. What y'all excited to do. What teams y'all excited to use. What positions y'all excited to play with, man. Let me know in the comments. Make sure y'all subscribe so we can stay up to date, so y'all can follow along the dynasty and road to glory. You feel me? Let's get into it.
The college football games have always felt special is the atmosphere. It's about the traditions, the bands, the student sections, the entrances, and the rivalries. And that's one thing EA has done a great job with in college football 25 and 26, but this year in 27, they've somehow taken it to another level. So we're going to go over the presentation deep dive and let you know everything you need to know in terms of presentation for college 27, including new mascots, new traditions, new rivalry presentation, the Heisman ceremony, crowd customizations, and much more. And make sure you subscribe and turn the bell icon on because I'm going to have some exclusive gameplay of college football 27 coming very soon. So the big vision for college football 27 is to make the game more like Saturday. And like I said, they've done a good job of this in the past two games, but they're just trying to take it to another level this year. The goal isn't just adding one big giant feature, it's making every school feel different before the ball is even kicked off. Because when you think about it, college football doesn't really start at the kickoff. Unlike other sports, there's a lot of the pregame stuff that really gets you hype. It starts with the walkouts, the bands, the mascots doing funny stuff, the student section going crazy, the traditions that different schools have, the rivalries that are so much more intense than in other sports. Just the overall atmosphere is different in college. And with that said, EA focused on three major areas this year after looking over the deep dive: authenticity, sights and sounds, and customization. So everything we're going to talk about pretty much fits under those categories, and the first area might be one that college football fans care about the most. So let's talk about the traditions, the pageantry, and the school identity. One of the biggest focuses this year is expanding the school-specific traditions. And with that, EA says that they have added new traditions, new mascots, new chants, new light shows, new drone shows, new rivalry trophies, and new atmosphere moments. And some of these look pretty wild, to be honest with you. For example, Oregon now has a drone show that
I ain't gonna lie. The presentation this year, I feel like they're gonna step it up crazy. Cause I feel like they ain't. I don't feel like they needed to really focus on gameplay. This year, gameplay wasn't that bad, but a little tightening up, like I said, on defense, that was well needed. But I feel like they went crazy. They're gonna go crazy with presentation this year, and I'm glad that they got more trophies. We need to do more trophies. I think it should be more honestly, I don't know if they got it, they haven't mentioned it, but I think that there should be like a banner that pops up on the screen or something when you break a record. I feel like nothing pops up when you break a record. Or it might just be on Madden. I don't know about NCAA, but it should be like, I feel like it should be like more of a big thing whenever a record is broken or like a big game has happened. I feel like it should be a big thing in the news or during the game. Crowd should be going crazy. This man, they can really work this, yo, for real.
Really puts the Duck mascot in the sky, whereas last year they were one of the schools that didn't get the new drone shows. Vanderbilt has their drop the anchor tradition in the game as well, which is definitely one of the coolest ones in college football. And keep in mind, these are just a few examples we're going to touch on at different parts of the video, but the game probably has a lot more than just the examples they presented in the deep dive. Now, they've also added a bunch of turnover and sideline celebration traditions as well. Some of these will include Boise State's skull prop, which is super cool. I'm glad that they got that in the game because I think that is one of the more unique ones in college football. They also added Vanderbilt's guitar celebration. You may have seen this in the trailer and in some screenshots. So not only did they get the drop the anchor, but they also got the guitar as well. They also added Missouri State's belt, which is pretty cool. They were one of the new teams that were added last year, so now they're kind of building them out a little more, adding some of their specifics. Another really cool one is FIU's 305 chain. I mean, okay. FIU is one of those popular teams, especially in the college football game, because they've got a unique uniform, a unique vibe, and now they got the 305 chain as well. Another really cool one is they added in Eastern Michigan's Mac-Coon chain. Now, this one is funny because it started from a viral YouTube comment joking that the true Mac football is played in front of 14 people and a raccoon on a Tuesday night during a blizzard. Basically, the team wound up just embracing the joke and they created a Mac-Coon turnover chain, so that's pretty funny. And it's now in College Football 27, as it should be. And these are the kind of details that don't impact gameplay at all, but they absolutely impact immersion, and we all care about that because the little details matter. As soon as you load into a game, you should immediately know where you are, and they've done a good job with this in the past, but again, they're just continuing to build on that. Now, the student sections are also getting a major upgrade in this department as well. There are now over 30 authentic student section banners. So depending on which stadium you're in, you'll see some of these student section banners waving in the crowd, and I'm sure as time goes on, they're going to be adding a lot more of these as well. And they've also added more than 90 new or updated team chants, and some of these examples include Florida's "It's Great to Be a Florida Gator," Colorado State's "CSU Rams," Cal's "Bears Territory," Georgia State's "GSU," and Kennesaw State's kickoff chant. Again, they've done over 90 of these, so these are just a few small examples, and I'm sure whatever your favorite team is, you'll find them when you play the game. And on top of that, 35 plus new mascots are being added at launch, with even more planned for future title updates. So at this point, we should be getting close to having every mascot in the game because we already had about 80 or 90 of them. Not every school even has a mascot, I believe. So if we're adding 35 new ones plus more for title updates, we should be at a point where we pretty much have all of them in the game. And with Mascot Mashup returning, it's definitely important that they get all of those in. But that's really only the beginning, because personally, I think the biggest presentation improvements might actually be happening during the game, which is really interesting. College Football 27 is getting an entirely new broadcast package, and this is one area where I think people are going to notice changes immediately, and it's something that a lot of us fans are always asking for. We want more presentation with the broadcast. We want it to feel like a Saturday game. Now, EA says they've redesigned things like broadcast graphics, presentation elements, player spotlight packages, coach information.
Player spotlight packages, that's what I'm saying. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie, I love a nice little commentating, especially college football Saturday morning commentating. The only thing they missing is the motherfucking what's your name? Lee Corso and them at the desk game. That's the only thing that ain't missing. What if they pop out with that Jane on game day? But that's the only thing they missing though. It's that Saturday morning, real Saturday morning vibes. But yeah, bro. MJ, calm down, bro. My dog be tweeting. But yeah, that real Saturday morning vibe, that's what this shit really, you know what I'm saying? That shit really making nigga feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get up, you know what I'm saying? I remember, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that play football, you know that feeling that's just like them early morning vibes, just getting ready to play, you feel me? That's how I be wanting to feel in this shit, you know what I'm saying? Cause I can't do that shit no more. But yeah, definitely some new commentating would be delightful.
And just more story-driven overlays. And up on the screen here,
More
I'm just showing you some
story-driven
different
overlay, like-
screenshots of some of these new things you can expect. Of course, they're not going to reveal every single thing in the deep dive, but this is just a small example of some of the new graphics and presentation elements that you'll see when you play College Football 27. And I do think it's important that these types of things get updated each year because these are the little things that make the game feel new. The gameplay year to year typically isn't going to have some massive difference. It's still going to look like football. They're going to change some mechanics.
See, that's why I said. That's why I just said, didn't it? I just said that shit. Like, gameplay it don't really matter, gang. Them presentation, that's what make that shit feel like I'm playing a new game. You feel me? Like, that's what it be.
They're going to change some behaviors, but it's still going to look the same if you glance at it. But it's those small details like new graphics, new presentation, new player details that start to add up over time. Now, they're also adding some other cool stuff in this department, like around the country halftime updates. That's definitely something we need. I would definitely like to see them do a full-on halftime show, kind of like Madden has. Maybe we'll get that eventually. But right now, we do have around the country halftime updates, which is a nice touch.
I ain't gonna lie, the halftime update could be, like, I ain't mad at this. At least it's something. You feel me? But a halftime highlight, a halftime show, a halftime presentation. Come on, gang. It's 2027 now, gang. Come on now. We have to get a halftime. We need to get a pregame show and a halftime show. Honestly, I feel like they could be purposely leaving it out so they don't, like, you know how you don't want to put too many eggs in one basket, you feel me? Because if they put too many in this junk, then motherfuckers ain't gonna cop 2028. Motherfuckers gonna play 2027. They got everything in 2027, you feel me? But yeah, they tweaking with these.
On halftime show,
halftimes.
kind of like Madden has. Maybe we'll get that eventually, but right now we do have around the country halftime updates, which is a nice touch. We've also got new quarter transition sequences, so that'll be nice. A little bit of a refresh there. We've also got better player comparison, so I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out, and just more contextual storylines, which is actually important because that is something that definitely can make games feel unique when they're touching on very specific situations. The goal is for the game to actually tell a story as you're playing, or at least that's what they said. For example, if a quarterback comes out hot in the first quarter, the game shouldn't completely forget about that by halftime. If the weather starts becoming a factor, the presentation should acknowledge that as well. If it's a rivalry game and it starts getting heated, the broadcast should lean into it. And that's what EA means by narrative callbacks and more contextual storylines. The game will continue revisiting important developments throughout the matchup instead of treating every drive like an isolated event. And honestly, that is something that sports games in general have struggled with over the years. All sports games struggle with this to some degree, while some do it better than others. This is definitely an area that can always improve, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out, because when the commentary is spot on and actually discussing things that are happening in the game, well, then each game feels unique, and that's what you want. You don't want every game to feel the same, because then you get bored pretty quickly. And while we're on the subject of
And that's the thing about college football and like Madden, when people be like, I fuck with Madden better, I fuck with woo. In my opinion, I fuck with both, I ain't gonna lie. But the best thing about college football is that it's so many teams, bro. It's almost like you will have a different vibe, a different atmosphere every game. And that's fire, bro. That's fire to where it's like, man, it's like you damn near playing the same teams every week. You feel me? It's just different when you just play different teams. You in different stadiums, different atmospheres. So, nah, I mean, it's different, but that shit fire, man.
commentary to help support all of this, EA did expand the broadcast team, which is not something any of us were expecting. Now, the biggest addition for this is going to be ESPN's Holly Rowe. She'll serve as a sideline reporter throughout games, which is honestly great. That's something that we've definitely needed in these football games, and I'm glad to see them lean into this. Now, this means we're going to get reports tied to things like injuries, weather changes, momentum swings, player performance, and game flow. So once again, not only will the commentary itself mention specific things, but we'll also have a sideline reporter that is going to talk about certain things.
Yeah, I did not know that. Good looking, Eric. So basically, we're going to have sideline reporting now. So basically on the sideline, like now, we're going to hear what basically what's going on the sidelines from a reporter. This is different. I ain't gonna lie, that is different. Cause you don't usually get that type of POV. You feel me? You don't really get that feeling, that type of commentary. And that's different. I did not know that. That's fire.
Developing in the game as well. And for some of you, that might sound like a small addition, but real broadcasts feel more alive when there's someone on the field contributing to the story. So I'm glad Holly Rowe is going to be implemented into College 27. And that's not all, because we also have another new addition. They added Joe Klatt to the game as well. He'll join Chris Fowler in the booth to help bring more variety to the playoff and big game broadcast. Now with that, Kirk Herbstreit has been removed. Not 100% sure why or what happened there, but when I did play the beta for the
Oh, didn't know that either. Kirk Herbstreit gone? That's different. So this shit, I'm not gonna lie, this shit, without Kirk, I ain't gonna say he was, and it ain't shit without him, but it's a different feeling when you hear a certain type of voice. You know what I'm saying? It feel different. It feel like when you hear Kirk on that bitch, you feel like you playing an important game. So it's like, damn, that shit crazy. This shit ready to feel super different, bro.
Game, Joe Klatt did sound pretty good. So, I mean, limited play time, but I want to see how this actually develops as the game releases and we play it for more than just a few days. But in my limited experience, I thought Joe Klatt actually meshed really well and brought a little bit more energy to the game. And on top of that, commentary itself has been upgraded with better contextual awareness, season performance tracking, which is important. That means they'll talk about how your season is.
Yes. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Everything I've been hearing about this, it's been everything that I feel like it was missing on the last one. It's feel like they are tackling every single thing that was missing. Only thing that I say that they did not tackle and that they dropped the ball on, like I said, this could be one of those things that they just waiting to do on the next one so they don't put all the eggs in the basket. But that is playing both sides of the ball and keeping stats for both sides of the ball. They don't keep stats for an offensive player making a tackle throughout the season. They'll keep the stat throughout the game, but after the game, it's going to say he still has 0 tackles. I feel like at least keeping up with the stats would be cool. But I feel like that's something within EA. That's something they're going to do.
Actually playing out. There's more team-specific storylines, there's more follow-up dialogue, and there's stronger connections between commentary and presentation. So essentially, the booth should feel more aware of what's actually happening around it. We'll have to kind of wait and see, because this is one of those things you got to show me and not tell me, because there's been times in the past where they'll say that commentary is going to be better, it's going to do this, that, and the third, and it doesn't quite live up to that. So I really hope it does, because commentary is one of those things in sports games that is really, really huge, and it seems like it usually falls short of hitting the mark. So hopefully this year, we're in a better spot with some.
North Dakota look decent. I ain't gonna lie, North Dakota look decent.
Really huge, and it seems like it usually falls short of.
They look decent. So we play with North Dakota State? I ain't gonna lie, the only thing I don't like about their jerseys, their uniforms, they ain't got no name on the back. Like, bro, it's unprofessional, man. I cannot stand playing with a team with no name on the back. Like, what? Fuck, these people gonna know who I am, man. I need niggas to see me every time. I need niggas to read my name every time they see me. What you talking about?
Hitting the mark. So hopefully this year we're in a better spot with some of this new stuff that they've added. Now let's talk about dynamic weather, and this is a bigger deal than it sounds. And of course, I have definitely talked about this in multiple videos because
I'm low-key scared of the weather. Not gonna lie. I ain't mad at it because it's real. It's real. I like the real reality aspect of video games. That's why I fuck with them. I fuck with like the realism of the video games. That's why I'm hyped about this shit. But them rainy days, them rainy games, snowy games, bro, you can't do nothing but run the ball all day. Like, but it's real though. I fuck with it. That's why I'm just scared of them shit, man. I don't want to play nowhere near that. I might go to a Florida team. Oh, we might have to go to LA. Might have to go to LA or Florida. For like one of those teams. That way we can stay away from all that Wow, that well.
It affects gameplay, it affects Dynasty, it affects Road to Glory, but it is a big part of just presentation overall. And it's way more than just visual effects. The weather can now evolve during games, rain can get heavier, the snow can intensify, conditions can change throughout the matchup. And those changes aren't just purely cosmetic, because EA says it's going to impact ball security, catching, kicking, slipping, and overall gameplay conditions. They're also improving field degradation, which was very clear to me in the limited time that I played in like snow, for example. Field degradation looked really good. There's more uniform degradation this year, which is something people want. There's more snow accumulation on the field where it piles up. There's more rain effects. I mean, even tracks the footprints in the body where it lands. So if you're playing in one area of the field for a period of time, you'll notice there's going to be less snow in that area because the players are constantly falling and getting tackled in that area of the snow. So honestly, they really did an awesome job with the weather this year.
I feel like that been a thing though. That been a thing. I don't feel like that's new.
My opinion. And I also like the fact that the dynamic weather can evolve play to play, not just quarter to quarter. So if you're later in the quarter, you'll notice that the weather can get significantly worse or significantly.
Nah, see, that's hard though. That's hard. Like just seeing the snow on their jerseys, the cleats. You see the snow just sticking to their jerseys. That's hard. That's different. That's hard. Look at the detail in that right there. It's hard though. That's tough.
You don't have to actually wait until you jump into the next quarter. So that's pretty cool as well. Now that brings us to a really sneaky update that Road to Glory specifically got in terms of presentation, because for the first time, you're no longer disconnected from the game when you're on the field. Let's say you're the quarterback, you'll experience the run out from the player's perspective, which that was already there. Then once you're on the sideline waiting for the next drive, you can actually watch the game unfold. You can watch your
That's hard. See, I don't understand. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they could have been did this, bro. But they just like, nah, fuck it, we're gonna save it to the next one. You feel me? We're gonna throw in a little shit every one. Every time we're gonna throw in a little different little shit so we don't give them too much at one time. I see what y'all on. I see what y'all doing, gang, but y'all gotta hurry up with this double position too, gang, because it's 2027, you feel me?
Defense, you can move the camera, you can zoom in on the action, and when the game is on the line, you'll watch the kicker attempt a game-winning field goal from the sideline before celebrating with your teammates afterwards. That might sound like a small feature, but if you're a Road to Glory person, you know that that is a very big immersion improvement and something that we wanted back in the game. But it still gets better than that, because now we have to talk about the Heisman ceremony, new equipment, and stadium upgrade. So one thing that they brought back to start it off is the Heisman ceremony. The top 4 finalists will appear in the ceremony. Chris Fowler will announce the winner, and it's available in both Dynasty and Road to Glory, which that's how it should be, so I'm glad that they did that. But this is one of those cool things that we had in the PS2 days that just went away for a long time. I'm glad to see it return, and from the little bit that we saw of it, it does look pretty good. That's a huge win for immersion. Again, the small details start to add up. And this is especially true for people that play multiple Dynasty seasons or play multiple different Road to Glory positions. These are the little things that keep you coming back.
This is good. I feel like they doing more highlighting. I feel like from what I'm seeing, they highlighting players more, which is really good because it helps you kind of really just focus on your team when you be doing like these little dynasties and Road to Glory. You focus on your team for real, but when they highlight other players, it kind of keeps you in tune with what's really going on with the lead and who you playing up against. You feel me? So at first it's just like people names will pop up and shit. It'd be like, you don't really know what's really going on, but I like how they highlight the players. It's hard.
Now, on the stadium side of things, EA confirmed Ryan Field for Northwestern is in the game. Gillette Stadium is now an official playable stadium in the game. There were also some major updates to schools like Boise State, Army, Memphis, Missouri, and Eastern Michigan, so that's going to be pretty cool to see when the game drops. And I know I got a lot of equipment heads here on the channel, and I'm going to do a full breakdown on this when I get my hands on the game for early capture, and I'm going to show you everything that's new equipment-wise in the game, even some of the stuff that hasn't been talked about. But they did mention in the article here things like hanging mouthpieces, team logos on towels, smaller shoulder pads, better rolled jerseys, reflective visors. They even added captain patches this year, which is cool, and plenty. But again, I'm going to break this down in depth when I actually get my hands on the game. Now, all that sounds great, but one of the coolest customization additions hasn't even been talked about yet, but it's time. Crowd themes. You can now manually set your crowd themes. Things like whiteouts, like Penn State, for example. You can set which game you do that now. Or blackouts. Some schools do this. I believe Georgia is one of the schools that do that. Correct me if I'm wrong. If your team has these different themes, you can now manually set them before a game, which I think is awesome. Even things like stripe outs, which most schools do, or any school-specific crowd theme, you can now set it whatever game you want. This literally means if you want Penn State's whiteout for every single home game, you can do that. That's awesome. Put the customization in the hands of us. That's what we want. And another cool addition is a new modular camera system with over 16 camera options available. So we can customize things like pre-play cameras, drop back cameras, handoff cameras, passing cameras, and more. You can essentially build your own presentation package. Again, it's the little things that add up. If you're someone that likes to really nerd out and get really deep into all the different customization options, you have so much more creativity this year than you did in the previous 2 years. So when you put everything together with the new broadcast package, the dynamic weather, the sideline reporting, the rivalry presentation, more traditions, mascots, chants, crowd customization, the improvements for the Road to Glory and Dynasty with Heisman ceremonies, all these little details, I really think the biggest takeaway here is that EA isn't trying to just improve one part of presentation, they're trying to improve the entire Saturday experience. And on paper, College Football 27 looks like the biggest step forward we've seen in that area in the 3 years that this game has been back. Now, if you want to know more about Dynasty Mode specifically, which got a massive upgrade this year, make sure you check out this video right here.
Yeah. I'm ready for college football, Trey. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for that college football, man. We're going crazy. We're going to go crazy. Damn, my fucking legs hurt like a bitch. So yeah, man, what y'all think about the video, man? Make sure y'all drop some comments, man. Let me know what y'all think, and let me know what's the first thing y'all gonna do when y'all play college football. I think we're gonna do I think on the channel for sure we're gonna do, I guess, Road to Glory. Guess we're gonna do Road to Glory. Y'all just let me know in the comments, man, what position should we do on Road to Glory though. You know what I mean? And we gonna make sure y'all sub up too though, so we can stay up to date, so we can make sure we doing this shit together. You feel me? Make sure y'all don't miss a show. Make sure y'all don't miss an episode, cause this shit ready to get epic. We ready to go crazy. I'm telling you.